Hello, beautiful. This is yours truly, the Queen of Peace. Imagine you've gone out with friends, relative, family, or you're at work, or you're just having fun. Maybe it's a family wedding or a family barbecue. Then you're just having fun, you're dressed well, you don't have any problems. You are actually relaxing and finding the day going on well. Then over there's Uncle Tobias or Auntie Peshi or my Nini or my Guru. All of a sudden, they walk towards you. Oh, if you've lost, I think, a few pounds, this dress would fit perfectly. Oh, do you know the car that you're driving is a fuel guzzler? If you had bought this model of the car, it was going to be better. Oh my God, you're wearing sleeveless. Today it's gonna be cold. I'm talking about unsolicited advice. How many times do we give people unsolicited advice? Do we give it because we want to help, because we want to care? Or to some extent, it's just control. What do you think? Do people give you unsolicited advice because they want to give you, or they are used to controlling people? Guys, welcome to Own Your Image with the Queen of Peace OI podcast, where we discuss the various issues that affect people. And today, I'm just inviting you to come and share with me your thoughts regarding unsolicited advice. Now, let me just take you a little bit to this scenario. Naturally, I'm someone who enjoys people, who enjoys giving people advice. Without effort, without thinking, I find myself giving people advice. If someone tells me their situation, I act as if I'm on a machine, because all of a sudden I start asking them questions. I start giving them advice. I start showing them websites. I start navigating and actually suggesting things, different things, ideas, tips, tools, and techniques. But sometimes people would have not asked me for this. Does it come across to you as someone who is just helping someone, or it is coming as control? Now, what is unsolicited advice? Unsolicited advice is that moment where you tell someone what to do without those people asking for advice from you. You just find yourself telling someone that they should do this. In other words, unongoyeka na watanga kuudza munhu kuti ita so, oh wadi wadai, oh mwana wenyu madi kumpacha, makambotraya zvakati. That's unsolicited advice. Why do we do that? Why do we find ourselves telling people what to do? Let's say we are in the receiving end. How do we receive that? How do we view someone just coming to us, suggesting something that we have not asked from them? Now, from my research, I've realized that people give unsolicited advice for various reasons. I'll just mention a few, and I would like to hear from you that when you give someone advice, asina kuikumbira, why are you doing it? What are the reasons behind that? Firstly, I think culturally, people think that I have to guide someone, especially the younger generation. For example, if you have got more years in marriage than someone who is just getting in marriage, we feel like we have walked the road, we have walked the park, we know it all, and we can actually guide them. Another example is, another example is, say you've got 5 children and someone is pregnant. We start dishing out tools and techniques or tips on how to raise children. So culturally, sometimes people feel that if they are mature enough, if they've experienced, they have an obligation to sharing that experience. So they do it out of care. It's actually love, they're caring, and they feel like that knowledge they have can be shared and impacted to you so that you can actually avoid mistakes which probably they experience themselves. So it's not every situation where people feel that when we give unsolicited advice, it's bad. It's actually good. It's out of care. Number two, some people have failed to implement some advices or exhortations which they thought they were good. Excuse me. Vakamisa opportunity. So some people vanotya kuti iwe ukasaita izvozvo uchapinda mu the same trap yavakapindana nayo. So there's this agency and this need of just starting to give someone advice without being asked for it. Number three, some people think they know better than anybody else. Full of I know. Ndoziva. What do you want? I ndakamenda ku America. I ndakamenda ku Dubai. I've been into this country. I've been there. So I know. So those are some of the reasons why people do that. Then comes people like me who naturally find themselves advising people, guiding people, providing tools and tips and techniques on how to navigate around a certain opportunity, problem, or anything they may be worried about, right? Like recently ndakatanga kuudza mumwe munhu kuti ita so apply pa website re Barclays Bank chichi atongondiudza kuti they studied accounting and banking and finance but majoring in corporate finance. I started giving them tips, but they had not asked me for anything. So people do that because they feel like naturally it comes naturally. It's effortless where they find themselves guiding someone on what to do. So it's not every time when someone is giving you advice that you have not asked for. It's not every time where we can say they are controlling. Now, on the other hand, there are people who feel like whatever they do, whatever they eat, whatever they do, everyone else should go by that. Iwo katenga 4-6 motor, iwo ndufana kutengawo. Kune vanhu vakadaro. There are people like that who feel like I need to tell people what to do because they think they know and they think the decisions they made are the best decisions, right? Then also other people feel like they've got exposure. So their exposure talks to them and speaks to them, and they feel the need and urgency to actually give that exposure to people in the form of advice. Unoziya unenge wakatopfeka hembe dzako ukatonyatsochena pasina kana problem uchinyatsodzwa kufara, but the moment that person comes to you and say, oh, this dress, or this jacket, or this weave, the moment they mention it to you, immediately you will feel kuti hazvisi right. Pakutoda something hazvisina kutombomira zvakanaka because this person has highlighted that issue to you. So how do we handle that? How do we handle people who are in the habit of walking to us and telling us what to do or suggesting zvinhu zvatofana kuita tisina kuzvibvunza? Vari kutotiudza zvinhu zvatatisina kuona maproblems, takutomaona vatotiudza. How do we handle that? I've got few tips for you. Firstly, they say spices are good. Spices, they can enhance a meal, right? But spices, if they are over added or if there's too much spices added in your meal, it can actually end up spoiling the meal that you were supposed to enjoy. In other words, I'm saying unsolicited advice ikauya yakazonyanyisa inosvika pakubohwa, inosvika pakurwadza, inotokanganisa marelations, inotokanganisa maconversations, inotokanganisa maconnections aripo. Saka a pinch of salt might be good. So how do we handle? I think number one is to listen to whatever they say. If it becomes too much, you need to tell that person or to remind them that, oh, thank you for your advice, but I'm happy with what I have. It's not a crime. It's not being rude. It's not being rebellious. You're actually telling them that you don't like that. I think it's also important to create boundaries. You need to create boundaries on how people approach you. You also need to create boundaries on what advice you take from people. Some people find themselves just becoming your automatic counselors because they're just used to telling you things to do, and you actually find yourself doing those things. You don't need to be shy. You don't need to be scared. You need to be bold and protect yourself. Create boundaries. Set boundaries where you need to tell people that, no, I'm okay. The way I am, I'm happy with what I have. I'm happy with what I'm doing. And I'm happy with the decision that I made. That way, people will stop to give you unsolicited advice because you are bold enough. Some people are scared to communicate their thoughts, their choices, their decisions, and at the end of the day, people will find themselves constantly telling you what to do because you are not bold enough to tell them that, hey, shakwana, chimbomira ikoko. So what I'm saying is that you need to master the skill of setting boundaries for yourselves. It could be your boss, it could be your mother, it could be your father, it could be your brother, it could be your friends, it could be your environment, it could be your leaders. Tell them that you are okay. Your decisions are okay the way they are. Never allow anyone to overstep those boundaries. Number 3, avoid those people. Sometimes you can avoid people who are actually monitoring spirits in your life. You need to avoid people who are there to tell you what to do. I've seen quite a lot of people in entanglements with their friends or sisters or relatives who are always controlling them. So sometimes it's better to disassociate yourself. Avoid attending same functions, avoid being in the same space, and avoid conversations which open for the unsolicited advice. If you are the one who is always in the habit of telling people what to do, I think the same principle which I've encouraged, which I've highlighted earlier on, is applicable as well. Too much of black pepper in a sauce can actually spoil your sauce. Sometimes, fara muromo, close your mouth, funda mvura muromo mako. Sometimes imbosiya vanhu, dzidzira kusiya vanhu vachita zvavari kuda. Dzidzira kufokasa nezvako iwewe. Dzidzira kumbotaurawo dzimwe nyaya. That's why we encourage people kuti instead of just talking about people, have a bank of conversations that you can have kana ukaenda pakaungana vanhu. Kana uri munhu asingaverengi, kana uri munhu asingazivi kuti weather yakamira sei, kana usingazivi zvepolitics, kana usingazivi zvemari, kana usingazivi shoko raMwari, it becomes difficult for you to engage in meaningful conversations with other people because you don't have anything. Musoro mako idenya rakangotakurwa riri kufamba. So it's also good and wise to invest your energy somewhere else. Put your energy somewhere else. It's either verenga sport, it's either verenga newspaper, either have a passion and a hobby where you've got knowledge, such that when you meet people, when you are in family gatherings, you stop telling people what to do, but you actually share the knowledge that you have, and you've got a bank of stories that you can share with the people. Help people to feel comfortable around you. Help people feel comfortable and enjoy the event they are attending because you are not telling them what to do. Iwewe kana zvinhu zvawakazvitenga uchiti zvakakunakira, zvakanakira iwewe, hazvinonakira munhu wese. Chinhu chinokunakira iwewe hachinakiri munhu wese. Mota yaunofunga kuti yakanaka iwewe inonakira munhu wese. Murume wako aina dora akaregera but wangu inini angonaregera. So stop giving advice, especially usina kubvunzwa. The other way to do it politely is to ask someone, say, do you want my opinion? Or do you want help on this? Or are you happy with this? That is if you sincerely want to help. Sometimes people don't need that advice that you're giving them. Sometimes people are actually knowledgeable, more knowledgeable than you. And sometimes people have weighed all the options, and that option which they took is the best option which they might have at their disposal. Saka iwewe usozofunga kuti zvauri kufungidzira iwe kuti iwo ndo zvinoita ndo zvinoshanda ndo zvinoshandira munhu wese. It might not be true. So unsolicited advice is not always bad. Sometimes it's good. But now you need to know, are you in the receiving end or in the giving end? If you are in the receiving end, you need to set boundaries for yourself. You need to be able to speak and communicate and tell people that you're not looking for it. You are happy with the decisions that you have. If you find yourself wanting it, you may actually say to the person, you know what, let me just enjoy the event and let's discuss about this later on. You may find yourself actually engaging in a conversation and having someone to help you, to give you, nuggets that can actually change your life and actually the situation that you're struggling with. So it's not all the time where you need to be in the receiving end. Sometimes you need to learn to say no, set boundaries, protect yourself, and you need to tell people that I am okay kupfeka hembe yellow instead of green. I am okay kupfeka hembe black than kupfeka white yamuri kuda. I'm okay ndine weight yangu yandinayo. I'm okay kudrive mota yangu yandinayo ngati kufamba netsoka. That's my decision. That's what I want. Ko iwo kangobvuma zvinoda vanhu iwo uchazorarama uri iwewe rini. Then kana uriwe uri munhu anofarira kupa vanhu advice, zvinzvere zviongorore unoti ndo zvinosvika here. Inini ndiri kuno kuScotland, my lecturing job was very difficult because we used to work in a poor office. After lectures, you would go into the staff room. So I learned to keep quiet because naturally I would find myself telling people what to do. And even ndangosvika pastage ngozvibvunza ndega kuti I think ndanyanya, I think zvanyanyisa. Even wakasvika mubhazi nebhazi munhu akutobvunza wakutotanga kutomuudza kuti ita so. It's not every day and everywhere and everyone where you need to give unsolicited advice. Now, ndoda kunzwa kuti iwewe, what do you think? Are you a giver of unsolicited advice or you are always in the receiving end? How do you handle it? Why do people do it? I want to hear and find out from you. Remember, OI podcast is about issues that affect people in the communities, in the societies. Continue to click the like, add your comment, share, tag, or invite anyone you think might benefit from these conversations. Until we meet again, thank you very much. Bye-bye.